Dararati Vadanaveshe Hari Niskuta Brinda Vipineshe Damodararati Vadanaveshe Hari Niskuta Brinda Vipineshe Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Rishabhanudadi Navashashileke Lalita Saki Gunaramita Vishake Rishabhanudadi Navashashileke Lalita Saki Gunaramita Vishake Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Karunam Kurumai Karuna Barite Sanaka Sanatana Vanita Charite Karunam Kurumai Karuna Barite Sanaka Sanatana Vanita Charite Karunam Kurumai Karuna Barite Shirupa Sanatana Vanita Charite Karunam Kurumai Karuna Barite Sanaka Sanatana Vanita Charite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Shri Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva Jai Guru Dev Jai Prabhupada Jai Guru Dev Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva Nitai Goda Haribo 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 Nitai Goda Haribo 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 Nitai Goda Haribo Gaur Premanande Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhika Vetadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarabhaktaya Namo Namaha Namastrastam manumapi sachiputram acha swarupam Rupam tasya grajam rupurim aturim goshtavatim Shri Chaitanya mano bhishtam stapitam yena bhutale Swayam rupa kadamayam dadati swapadantikam Priya Swarupe Dahita Swarupe Prema Swarupe Sahaja Virupe Nijanurupe Prabhureka Rupe Tatanarupe Swavilasa Rupe Ajana Lambita Bhujo Kanaka Vadato Sankirtanaika Pitaro Kamalaya Taksho Vishvambaro Dvijavaro Yugadharma Paro Vande Jagata Priyakaro Karunavataro Angashamli Machatabhiravito Mandi Kritendi Varam Jadyam Jagururoti Samvidaratam Patambarasya Shriyam Vrindaranya Vilasinam Mridilasat Dama Biramodaram Radhaskandani Veshitojvalabhujam Daim Studamodaram Daim Studamodaram Adevi Kaku Baragadgadaya Devacha Yacheni Patya Bhuvidandavaruddhatati Asya Prasaram Abhurasya Janasya Kudva Gandharvikeni Jagane Gananam Videhi Shirupa Manjari Karachita Para Padma Kostanjanandana Bhujarpitamastakaya Amarata Kanaka Gori Padaravinde Sambhani Sanakai Savakinkari Se Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Shri Gaura Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Srimati Shamrani Didi has asked me to speak on Bhagavad Gita. But first of all, I pay my humble, respectful obeisances unto my Guru Pad Padma. Om Vishnu Pada Stotra Satri Shrimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Van Gosai Maharaj. Simultaneously to my Shiksha Guru Devi. Om Vishnu Pada Stotra Satri Shrimati Shamrani Thakurani. Simultaneously to my Param Guru Dev Nitila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Stotra Satri Shrimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj. Nitila Pravishta Shri Shrimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj. Nitila Pravishta Shri Shrimad Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Gosai Maharaj. To Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, to the whole Rupanu Guru Varga and all the assembled devotees, please accept my Dandavat. Pranam. Hare Krishna. So she asked I speak on the chapter 9 of Bhagavad Gita, which is on page 383. If you want to follow as I read, maybe I don't think I will go into every single purport, but I think if something is questionable or we want to know more, and by their causeless mercy, hopefully I can digest this and read along. So actually in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, he's like giving knowledge, right? And so he says there's confidential knowledge. Then there's like more confidential knowledge. Then there's even more confidential knowledge. Then there's most confidential knowledge. And so here we're like at like most confidential knowledge. But then there's even more confidential knowledge. That's what I've heard. So we speak. And there's many verses actually, especially in this chapter 9, which break down the first essence of bhakti yoga actually. So the first 4 chapters, it's made up of 18 chapters, as we know, the Bhagavad Gita. And 6 chapters are speaking about karma. 6 chapters are speaking about Gyan, and 6 chapters are speaking about bhakti in general basis, 6, 6, 6. And whoa. So here actually Krishna is giving Gyan knowledge. He's giving knowledge here in chapter 9. Excuse me, before I said bhakti. But everything is actually intertwined with bhakti, as we know it's like the essence. But here he's giving Gyan Yoga, how to see, the world, and also creation, and how his Purusha also. So, and his incarnation also. So the most confidential knowledge. Translation. The Supreme Lord said, "My dear Arjun, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most secret wisdom, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence." So, he's even saying here, just by hearing this supreme message, that he can be relieved from all the miseries of material existence. Simply by hearing. Like the first stage of bhakti is Shravan. We must hear. Then we can do kirtan. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. This is a famous shloka. Raja Vidya Raja Guyam. Prabhupada has a whole book on this most confidential knowledge. Yeah, Raja, the king of all knowledge. And so this chapter, Bhagavad Gita, he's saying is the king of all education, because it is the essence of all doctrines and philosophies explained before. So when Krishna gives Gyan Yoga, he gives like the topmost Gyan Yoga, which ultimately like is about bhakti. There's no time. We kind of people like to see Bhagavad Gita, different sections, like Krishna's word, he's saying different here, or even different interpretations. They see as there's different yogas in Bhagavad Gita, but Krishna is only trying to give one thing. He's only giving it step by step. Like if he just told the topmost thing to Arjuna in that moment, he could not digest. So every step, every chapter, he's giving. One must have in the beginning karma yoga. One must be free from fruitive action. Surrender all your things unto me. He's saying this like just anything you collect, you give. Or offer in my service, or know that I'm the ultimate benefactor. And then he's saying how to be a sage of steady mind. He's saying in chapter 2, one who is like, what are the symptoms of somebody who's free of karma? It's dukeshu anurvignamana, sukeshu vigataspira, vitaraga bhaya krodha, shtita dir munir uchyate. One is said to be a muni or a sage if he is when there is suffering, when there's sadness, he is not sad. When there's happiness, he's not overly elated. When there's vita raga bhaya krodha, he's free from attachment, envy, fear, and anger. This is said to be a sage of steady mind. So then he's giving this knowledge step by step. Okay, and now, and the essence, of course, is manmana bhavamad bhakto, means always think of me, become my devotee, pay obeisance. This is the topmost instruction, is to always think of Krishna. But only the gopis are doing this perfectly. That's later we'll talk about. So, this is a very nice purport here by Srila Prabhupada. So he's saying that there's a dearth of knowledge in the field of philosophy of transcendental knowledge, and generally no one is actually educated on this spiritual knowledge. Even the in Bhagavad Gita, in the second chapter, he's saying stresses on the importance of the soul's knowledge. What knowledge is actually about the soul, or the super soul even, not just about the body or the actions of the body. A person who has completely ended the reactions of all sinful activities and who is fully engaged in pious activities, being freed from the duality of this material world, becomes engaged in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. So naturally, by performing bhakti, one is free from all sinful activity, because one is no longer collecting good or bad credits, in the material world. They're just doing bhakti, the Supreme Lord, thus purifying all sins from previous lifetimes. Everything already belongs to Him, but what He doesn't have is our heart. So when that faith, there's two types of faith. There's worldly faith. Oh, this bhakti will help me, free from suffering, I'll become a more better person, okay, my worldly life will become better if I do bhakti. But this is very shaky faith, It won't, if some calamity comes, then we won't remember Krishna. We'll just be, this person did that person did that to me. I am so upset, I have to retaliate, then comes a whole fall down, so many things happening. And then this is a weak faith, you're doing bhakti, but so many problems still coming and mind cannot be fixed. But this paramarthik shraddha, which means this shloka, tattenu kampam susamikshama bunjana evatma kritam vipakam. So he's saying that one who tolerates, actually I'll just read the direct translation, it's better to get the message across. One who seeks your compassion and thus tolerates all kinds of adverse conditions due to the karma of his own past deeds, who engages always in your devotional service with his mind, words, and body, and who always offers obeisances unto you, is certainly a bona fide candidate for becoming your unalloyed devotee. So the devotee is always remembering this shloka, that no matter what situation, it's only due to my own karma. I've done something, therefore I'm only seeing the results of it. I cannot blame anybody. This is like the when my Gurudev always says, when chanting japa, we're pointing our finger like this, but now start to do this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Oh, and this is actually the secret way to become very happy. Because only the sad people are seeing outside, oh, whose fault is this? What did this person do to me? Oh, the sad person is always thinking outside of themselves. Then they can never have control of their own emotions. Then they let their emotions belong to other people. And they can string all they like. And Krishna will play like this. He'll play all he wants until you realize. So the fourth shloka, saying, by me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Yeah, I always remember, that not even a blade of grass falls without, or not even a leaf falls from a tree without the will of the Supreme Lord. So imagine every situation. Just knowing, okay, the Supreme Lord is responsible for everything that happens, and anything bad that's coming to me is only a result of my own actions, Then one can be steady, in any situation coming to them, knowing, oh, Supreme Lord is arranging this for my upliftment somehow. Because he's saying here, by me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. That means he's all pervading. He's in every single atom. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Amazing. Only with the eyes of love, when we develop these eyes of love, then we can see the Lord everywhere. Like Prabhupada is quoting here. Premanjana Charita, one can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda, always within himself and outside himself, if he has developed the transcendental loving attitude towards him. Thus, for people in general, he is not visible. So he says it very clearly, that he's everywhere. And like he was saying in the previous verse, with that faith, that's the bridge, is the faith. And number 5, he's saying, and yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, although I am everywhere, still myself is the very source of creation. So he's even saying that I'm kind of skimming the purport, but it's not that Krishna is ever tired of holding up everything. Simultaneously, it's coming from him, but he's never burdened by it. Like, as we know, he just breathes in and out universes. Number 6. As the mighty wind, blowing everywhere, always rests in ethereal space, know that in the same manner all beings rest in me. I forgot to do this. Like Krishna is non-different from this book. Oh Prabhu, you're not a book, you are Krishna and Arjun, yourself, and Srila Prabhupada and whole Guru Varga explaining yourself. As the mighty wind, blowing everywhere, always rests in ethereal space, know that in the same manner all beings rest in me. O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, every material manifestation enters into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I again create. So it says, Brahma lives for 100 years, and his one day is calculated at 4,300,000,000 years of our earthly years. That's just one day. And his night is of the same duration. So that means 8.6 billion years of his one day and night. His month consists of 30 such days and nights, and his year of 12 months. After 100 such years, when Brahma dies, the devastation or annihilation takes place. This means that the energy manifested by the Supreme Lord is again wound up in himself. As like a spider, A spider can just create webs and take it all back like that. But the spider is never attached to the webs. He can crawl all over it all he wants, but he never gets stuck in it. In the same way, Supreme Lord. It is done by his will. Although I am one, I shall become many. This is the Vedic aphorism. He expands himself in this material energy, and the whole cosmic manifestation again takes place. The whole cosmic order is under me. By my will it is manifested again and again, and by my will it is annihilated at the end. O Dhananjay, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached, seated as though neutral. Yeah, he's always in a blissful abode, never touched by material activities, as like the spider example. This material nature is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, and it is producing all moving and unmoving beings. By its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. This famous one, Avajananti mam muda manusim tanum ashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhutam maheshwaram. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature and my supreme dominion over all that be. So he's saying here, though he incarnates, in a human-like form, the fools deride him and they say, oh yeah, Krishna appeared, yeah, he was like a great guy. No, it's Supreme Lord himself, transcendental body. And when Krishna descends, he descends with all of his associates and his abode, his transcendental abode. Who the presiding deity of his abode is Balaram, his brother. So Balaram incarnates as the land, and also as his flute and his ornaments, everything like this. Balaram incarnates like this. Yeah.
The last appearance of Sri Krishna was through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yeah, Swayam Bhagavan.
500 years ago.
Yeah, about 500 years ago, yeah.
Is there any idea or any expectation of when is he going to come back, or nobody knows?
Oh, it's all in scripture, like almost to the T. And so he appeared, actually, in Kali Yuga, normally Kalki Avatar, he comes at the end of Kali Yuga and he destroys all the miscreants. Like he just does a complete slaughter of Kali Yuga because it's so decrepit. Like the people are completely sinful, short, only living to about 50 years, maybe less, and very decrepit, so dirty place, you know. And then he comes and just destroys everything, then restarts the cycle, it destroys everything again at the end of Kali Yuga. But Kalki Avatar is not coming this incarnation because the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna Tvisha Varanam Krishna Pangoastram Parshadam. So he came in this Kali Yuga. Krishna, Tvisha Krishna, means the Krishna with no black form but a golden form. He came in this Kali Yuga. Srimad Bhagavatam said. And so he comes in the every 28th Kali Yuga. He comes like last time he came was very, very long time, but he specifically was meant to come this Kali Yuga. Like 7 Manvantars, and in the 7th Manvantar of the 28th Kali Yuga means the 28th cycle. Like we've already been like so much time, you know. If you look at like a Vedic map, you can understand how rare. And then Mahaprabhu appears in this Kali Yuga.
And Guru Devi say that we are so, and you say we're fortunate that we were in this
Kali Yuga, yeah. Even demigods are lining up to take birth in this Kali Yuga, you know.
Came and gave us the medicine, like
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, the medicine.
Super close to me.
Yeah.
We had the opportunity.
So this is the Dhanya Kali. I'm surprised more people aren't coming. But they will. It's only the beginning. See, there's 10,000 years of the golden age of Kali, of this Kali Yuga. So this 10,000 years is going to be like spiritual transformation completely. Only we're at the beginning. You know, Mahaprabhu just appeared, and so many of his near and dear associates are just now coming, you know. Like just, they continue to come and show us the path, you know, in the proper siddhanta like this. But the path always continues, you know. There's always a bona fide disciplic succession. There's never a time where there is no pure devotees on this planet. There's always a time where there's pure devotees. Yeah. So in the same way, Balaram manifests as the land, and he descends, you know, with all of his associates. In the same way, Nitai is Balaram. So Nityananda Prabhu, he manifested the land. He of Navadvip. And Navadvip Dham is non-different from Vrindavan Dham. It's said to be Gupta Vrindavan, or hidden Vrindavan, is within Navadvip. And Abhinna Vrindavan, which means non-different from Navadvip, from Vrindavan. And they're both eternal. It's not that one before the other. It's not that Vrindavan is first. No. Both are eternally situated in Goloka Vrindavan. And there's a specialty about the soul of Gaudiya Vaishnavas split into 2 regions of the spiritual universe. One in Gaur Leela, simultaneously in Gaur Leela, Mahaprabhu's Leela, and simultaneously in Krishna Leela. That's a specialty of Gaudiya Vaishnava. They enter both. It's not that it's given, but those who are Gaudiya Vaishnavas will have 2 Svarup, you know. Some only appear in the Krishna Leela. So, but it depends. You know. Most in the Gaudiya lineage are coming in this line, you know. Those, so the next shloka. So that's a very, important shloka he's saying. Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. So we can see that nowadays, any philosophy that these people, develop is all has no basis, has no Vedic basis. And it's all speculation, And they're really only doing it for their own desires. Anyways, that's a whole conversation. They're ultimately just deluded, that's all. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Yeah, my Gurudev always says that in order for one to come into a life where they chant the holy name, they have to have worshipped Vasudeva, the opulent form of Krishna, for 100 births, doing archan, deity worship, for 100 births. Then one can chant one holy name. So, and keep in mind, we've been here since time immemorial. So many, many lives, only... And another thing, Jai Shishirada Raman Bihari Juki Jai. And another thing, we can never see, like Krishna is saying one thing here because of just the material science, the material nature, and the diluting potency, of these different new philosophies, everything. But everybody is perfect, in their soul. Their soul is perfect, but only they're covered, And it's not that in any time we may be coming through this now, being able to do bhakti, but who knows where they are on their path, Who knows? Everything is eternal, With that vision of view, we can see that all living entities are servants of God, in one way or another. Somehow they're arranging. Even the averse philosophies could be so that the other philosophy must grow, become better. Why did the demons in Krishna Lila, Hiranyakashipu, against Nrsingadev, to glorify Prahlad Maharaj, right? Prem Projan Prabhu was saying after our play. Why Hiranyakashipu, he incarnated as a demon, but he's eternally in Vaikuntha, but he incarnated to do this pastime, just to glorify Prahlad Maharaj, just to glorify Nrsingadev. So the demons, there must be some opposition always, but the devotee is always seeing that I give respect to all living entities because my Lord is in their heart. So this is a natural disposition. But everything is ultimately for this vision, But for the madhyam or new devotee, we must have some guideline. Okay, I have to avoid this association, this philosophy, and stick, in one pointed manner. As even Krishna is saying, only by one pointed focus, can we attain that goal, So, and the knowledge has to be pure in that. He's saying here, others who are engaged in the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, diverse in many and in the universal form. But it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering. I want to read this part of the purport in the previous shloka. But there are others who are still lower, and these are divided into three of the ones he's saying, seeing Krishna and everything. He who worships himself as one with the Supreme Lord, he who concocts some form of the Supreme Lord and worships that, and he who accepts the universal form, the Vishvarup of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and worships that. Out of the above three, the lowest, those who worship themselves as the Supreme Lord, thinking themselves to be monas, are most predominant. Such people think themselves to be the Supreme Lord, and in this mentality they worship themselves. This is also a type of God worship, for they can understand that they are not the material body, but are actually a spirit soul. At least such a sense is prominent. Generally, the impersonalists worship the Supreme Lord in this way. The second class, so it's actually important to know how people are worshiping, Like, they see the impersonalists are, yes, actually we don't see that they are necessarily offenders, impersonalists. Mayavadis are offenders. Mayavadi, there's a difference between Mayavadi and impersonalist. Impersonalist is just thinking that, the Supreme Lord is, in everyone's heart, impersonal. But the Mayavadi is thinking that, we will worship the Supreme Lord to be above. I am God, you are God, we are all God. But like this, it's more of an offensive mindset, denying the reality of the Supreme Lord, instead of like, okay, I have no proof, but he may exist, is a different thing than, worshipping a deity form to be above it. This is the Panchopasana method that has been spread all over India now, is this method of worship. They think like this. They're thinking, I will worship all these different deities, Ganesh, Shiva, Durga, but they're all one anyways. But I just want to merge above it anyways. This is even more offensive than an impersonalist. Impersonalist is just thinking I will merge with the impersonal, light. But even more offensive is the Mayavadi. He's saying like this. The transcendental chant. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable Om. I am also the Rik, the Sama, and the Yajur, Vedas. Yeah.
How is that of the him being the syllable
Om? Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, Radha and Krishna are within Om. A-U-M is the syllables of Om. And M stands for Krishna, and A-U stands for Radha. So when you're even the syllable Om means Radha and Krishna. So this is he's saying here. I wonder if he says anything in the purport. Yeah, so the syllable Om even represents Radha and Krishna. But the impersonal aspect of Radha and Krishna. So like their effulgence, you can say. Yeah, it's not a direct name, Only everything is included, because they're the source. So we can find... so we can find some relation. So can you read it? What is it? Oh, in all the Vedic mantras, the word Om, called Pranav, is a transcendental sound vibration and is also Krishna. Yeah, so it's Krishna. In this way, the perfect Gyan, he's saying, in summary, he's saying perfect Gyan is seeing Krishna in everything. But that isn't the ultimate truth or goal, is not to know that Krishna is in everything. Because then, there's no devotion there, there's no love. There has to be relation. I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refugee, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place, and the eternal seed. Yeah, it's quite simple, One who does not know Krishna is misled, and his so-called progressive march is either partial or hallucinatory. It makes it very clear, Srila Prabhupada. O Arjun, I control heat, the rain, and the drought. I am immortality, and I am also death personified. Both being and non-being are in me. So by his energies, everything is happening. Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. They take birth on the planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. Yeah, so even when they have thus enjoyed heavenly sense pleasure, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, through the Vedic principles, they achieve only flickering happiness. But those who worship me with devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. This is a very famous verse. We can recite it together. Ananyas chintayanto mam. Ananyas chintayanto mam. Ananyas chintayanto mam. Ye jana paryupashyate. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam. Yogakshemam vahami aham. This is a wonderful shloka, because he's saying that those who worship me with devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. So it's not necessarily that Krishna will just take everything. You become his. No, he preserves what's that which is good, Especially our bhakti, It's in this eternal vision. He's always preserving that we have, Our bhakti is always eternal, our love for him. So he'll always awaken that, Especially if we remember him and pay obeisance to him. And he carries what they lack. Wow. Yeah, very nice purport. This is called yoga, he's saying. Only desire to achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is called yoga. And that by doing this, by hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, worshipping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, rendering other services, cultivating friendship, and surrendering fully to the Lord, full of auspiciousness, perfect in self-realization. Whatever a man may sacrifice to other gods, O son of Kunti, is really meant for me alone, but it is offered without true understanding. Yeah, like people are worshipping the demigods, but ultimately everything is going to the Supreme Lord anyway. Yeah. No. He says, Aham hi sarva yagyanam. I am the only enjoyer and the only object of sacrifice. Those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down.
What fall down means? It's about suffering the material world?
Yeah, material existence. Here he's saying in the purport, therefore they fall down to material existence and do not achieve the desired goal of life. If, however, anyone has any material desire to be filled, he had better pray for it to the Supreme Lord. Although that is not pure devotion, and he will thus achieve the desired result. See, Krishna, he fulfills material desires. It's no problem for him, especially if we chant Namaparad. Offense to the holy name. The holy name is so powerful. Even the offensively chanting the holy name, one's material desires will become fulfilled. But it's only fulfilled just to free one from these desires. So Krishna will actually give these things, but just for one to be, I had it now, I don't need. It's like having to realize, this, or even like too much ice cream, And then it's like, wow, ice cream, even thinking about it makes one sick. So like this, once it's like, okay, Krishna, this is why Nam is so powerful, Nama Chintamani, and it's very important what we think about when we chant, because he will just increase whatever that thing you're thinking about when you're chanting. So it's very important to learn what's the ultimate goal, and then as that ultimately by aiming at the highest thing, all other things, all other facets of life are completely, covered.
But I think that's a process, like while you're chanting, like to improve those thoughts.
Yeah.
At the beginning, at least for me, so far I'm still like thinking like material things when I'm chanting sometimes.
Mm.
Like, oh, I forgot to do this, Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to go to that. And, oh,
Yeah, it's natural, Yeah, it's natural. Ultimately, like, yeah, that's why we want to associate with like transcendental things, because even though we only have the material vision, we only have a material mind is going like this, just being in association with the devotees, hearing Harikatha, naturally these moods and these like understanding will manifest, like pastimes of the Lord, many sweet things, just by hearing, So that's why the first process is by Shravanam, hearing from the pure devotee of the Lord, having firm faith in their realization and their teaching. Then naturally the it's like the more ghee you put in the fire, then the stronger the flame becomes. Yeah. But this could be two examples, It's like, yeah, just by chanting more, But even if you dump a whole thing of ghee, right? Then the fire will become extinguished. So Krishna is like that big pot of ghee. And when just hearing or chanting about his glories or hearing his pastimes or remembering him, that will put out the whole entire fire of the material existence, of lust, actually. This lust, meaning, for my enjoyment, there's a difference between lust and love. Atmandriya priti vancha thare bale kam, Krishnandriya priti icha dhare premanam. Lust is that which is, how can I fulfill my own desires? How can I feel like any action that is for self? But love is any action that's fulfilling the transcendental senses of Krishna. Krishnandriya prati icha dhare premanam. This is what prem is called, love. In simple terms. Any- no. See, he's even saying here, I am the only enjoyer and the only object of sacrifice. He's the only enjoyer. Those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. See, we're allowed to enjoy, like Mahaprasad, right? It says, like, you take it to full satisfaction, Mahaprabhu, and even in the prayer,
So in that way, is it okay to say to somebody honoring prasadam like enjoy?
I mean, it depends on because prasadam can be honored or it can be eaten. It's all depends on the consciousness of the person. That's why it's called Krishna consciousness. It's actually every moment we're either turned away or turned for Krishna. Our goal is to be 24 hours, cent per cent, turned towards Krishna. This is Krishna consciousness. Then one is always situated in that, Then no longer it's like a thing, having to. But in the beginning we have to do sadhana. So that's why we sing the Mahaprasad prayer. That's why Didi was emphasizing today about this prayer. Like, if we don't pray over the food and sing the prayer over the food, we could just enjoy it simply as if it was a material thing. But knowing that, this prayer says, this is Mahaprasade Govinde, Nama Brahmani Vaishnave, Svalpa Punyavratam Rajan, Vishvaso Navajayate. This body is a lump of ignorance, and the tongue is the most ferocious of all senses. But praying to this Mahaprasad, but he's so merciful, he gives his food remnants. And his food remnants are non-different from his holy name, non-different from his transcendental deity form, and non-different from the Vaishnavas. Well, imagine.
Please allow your reminds to inspire us love, serve, and remember you unconditionally and
That's a good one. Yeah. See, it works, And instead of seeing the Mahaprasad as just a material thing or this, he's so fortunate he gives us transcendental things. So what I meant by the, continuing with the transcendental things, then naturally our mind becomes purified, No longer is like the mind fickle, But it's very important, that to be on the path of purification, like the Vaidhi sadhana, the rules and regulations. Okay, doing like this. But then naturally, when one is situated in that, then they're always remembering Krishna. There's no time where they think that they're, out of Krishna's,
Two lives.
Yeah.
And I say that because at least for us as new devotees and in the process and following the regulations is very. I'm aware of that, like the devotion, like this is this life, and how the mind play with that.
Yeah.
Like no, is here is okay, but here no. Let's do what I know.
Yeah.
So
Natural.
like and like my whole life, let's say that. Okay, this is easier. This is what I know. So keep that. But it's part of the process, and I know, and it's at least I have to say that it's not difficult, but it's uncomfortable for the mind.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm taking the mind out of control of what it knows, and sometimes like okay, like leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that, and sometimes because I don't remember already which text was that about the faith. That says about the association with devotees.
Yeah.
One cultivates the faith. And I didn't ask my question. It says, I think it says a pure devotee. I'm not sure if I'm okay with that. Because
the faith one?
let me tell you.
Additional service cannot attain me. Yeah, I found it. Those who are not faithful on the path of devotional service cannot attain me. O conqueror of foes, but return to birth and death in this material world. This one?
But could you please tell me which one is it?
Text 3.
3?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, because it says, faith is created by association with devotees.
Yes.
So I'm just saying that, and I'm going back because part of the process that I see in our lives that is out there, like Grihastas, is difficult. It's all the time seeing in front of us the division.
Right, yeah.
So it's very easy when we fall down, like just make the easiest way. Like of course for the mind is what it knows.
Yeah,
the
naturally.
path. And even like that, it's like I don't want to go to the temple or I don't have time, and that's why at least in a short and very new experience is making us stronger in our faith.
Yeah, and if I may say, it becomes a process. Like especially when it comes to like offering food or worshiping the Thakurji, food is one of the hardest things, I think.
Yeah, because it's the impulse of
it's like naturally, okay, it's there, I can just eat, because in the beginning, like the best thing to know is the rules and regulations that if I eat this, I will go to, like it will accrue sin, and it will knock me off the path, and I could go to hell. This is like the first stage of knowing, like, okay, like it's best to offer it just to purify it. Even if I want this right now, I want it so bad, but at least I'll offer it, put it on the altar. This is like stage 1, like, okay, this is the best I can do. I'm going to just offer it, that way it's pure, you know, and I'm not eating sin, and then my mind becomes disturbed, you know, like, so best like this, you know, just knowing that, okay, my mind will be disturbed, I will offer it. Here you go, Krishna. Take. I want it, but here. This is stage one.
We're in the stage one.
Oh, but stage one is there's many. It's long. You know, I'm still in stage one. I want things all the time, and I'm like, all right, let me just whip out my thread and do the little offering. Like, come on, you think this is devotion? No, 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 no. We're just naturally living, you know. So it's like.
I've been in situations where like let's say there is a vegetarian rice.
Mm.
They like I get lunch sometimes when I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
So but that rice has onions.
Mm.
So I'm like, okay, Krishna, let's make a deal. Or either I fast and keep working without eating, but then I'm gonna be tired and upset.
Mm.
Or without eating, but then I'm gonna be tired and upset.
Mm.
Or
You're my mind guy. You're my mind guy. So imagine, you know, when you're actually getting there and you're trying really hard effort, then you can really see the difference. The only reason is because we haven't experienced higher taste, that we're only sticking, you know, okay, like it's okay. But Krishna, see, we have to understand that we're in the material nature, you know, material world. Krishna, he's completely transcendental, you know. So to him, like, whatever our free will is, of course he's forgiving, but he's just observing, you know, like, okay, now what?
What is the effort? And actually, I think one of the things that I was observing is that just following the regulations, I can see and feel how my body feels, even with that not effort, like just doing it.
Yeah, simple.
And at some point, something like that happened. I'm not like in conflict. I just keep like, but my body is rejecting. It's like in discomfort, like, you know. So that is the reminder that it wasn't good, and not like.
Yeah, it's not a thing. Yeah, it's a subtle thing, you know. It's subtle.
It's like you were doing the things that you know. So
yeah.
What happened? And I see myself sometimes like trying to continue the old path just because of sense.
Yeah.
And I'm aware of that.
Yeah, so the Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita the process, Vairagya and Abhyas. Again trying, you know, just giving up the sense objects, and again just trying, you know, these two principles of giving up and trying again to continue. That's all we can do until we have higher taste, you know. But it's very close. We have to understand, like, one lifetime is not long in the eternal platform, you know. So for us to give some effort to that is very, very nice, you know. Like maybe instead of eating the onion rice, you can just pack something, you know. Like a meal plan or something. I know it's hard, but there's always a way, you know.
Yeah.
There's always a way.
And I think that element between that is when we can say that, okay, I was tired or maybe, but it's always the laziness in the middle and things like that about the old path that
right
obstacles to
yeah
do it differently.
Yeah, but naturally, as that higher taste comes, the lower taste, it won't even be a decision to even eat something made by a karmi, like by somebody who's not a devotee. It naturally, you're like, oh, there's no way I would take that, you know. I would way rather like suffer and starve, or just pack my own meal like this, you know, like tofu sandwich, homemade tofu sandwich. Put it on the altar at the beginning of the week. Make many, and pack. It's very nice.
Thank you.
Meal plan. It's practical, but it's true. It makes a difference because when one becomes on that platform like very pure, you feel so empowered in spiritual life. And it's very possible, you know. I've seen like there's many strong grihasta families, you know, householder couples that are very, very strong, you know, and they're helping each other, you know, always do better, you know. and they're doing like such nice sadhana, nice mood. So it's very, very possible, you know. Yeah.
Something that Guru Devi said today in class that sticks in my mind is determination.
Yeah, determination.
I don't remember exactly the words that she said, but it was like, it's the only that you need in life.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, boom.
Yeah, that's it. Just have to try.
That contents of determinations is decision. Just your responsibility.
Yeah, and you know, Krishna saying this whole chapter, you know, even from the beginning, like just having faith in that, you know, like it may be his instruction, though it seems like mundane material thing or rules and regulations, things like this, it's so applicable, you know, how much faith we can develop, you know. And then when doing that, he shows, you know, he's saying it here, he preserves what they have, but I carry what they lack. He'll always provide some way, you know. He'll always you know, preserve that thing that's good, you know, that's in your life, that's pure, that bhakti, you know. You always keep that, but then you always carry anything that's lacking, you know. So just having faith in him, because he's actually providing everything, you know. Even they say that to put our hand in our japa bag is mercy. So it's like, yes, there's mercy in endeavor, but there's mercy to endeavor. There's already that mercy has come, you know. It's just whether you want to step outside in the rain is always pouring, you can say, as an example. Or the sun is always shining, but it's whether one steps outside and takes the sun rays, you know, or takes their bucket and puts in the rain, collect the water. But if your bucket has a hole, how possible? You cannot collect the water, the mercy of Mahaprabhu's love. So the receptacle has to be very strong. And this receptacle is Trinadapi Sunichana, Tarori Vasahishnuna, Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. Feeling when one feels lower than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree, and gives respect to all others, not expecting respect for himself, then he's qualified to chant the holy names of Hari. So this is the receptacle, the bucket, and Mahaprabhu is giving like this. But if our receptacle has a hole, we can't follow this, then the rain will just pour. Gaura Pramanande Hari Hari Bo Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura. Gaura Pramanande. Well, you guys are so sincere. I think Krishna will always give you the intelligence and mercy to like endeavor nicely, you know. Because the only thing is sincerity, you know, and determination. And Krishna will definitely help you, you know. It's like I think of it like this, is like the mercy to endeavor is because like he's already given the mercy, you know. We just have to try, you know. And then it's like, oh, everything is there. And so much fruit comes from this spiritual fruit. But also not to be hard on yourself, because it's like how to live in this world, you know. We are in this world, you know. But he's so merciful that he gives prasad and he gives the opportunity to worship him in this deity form, you know. And get a little picture of deities, and then just try, you know. He definitely will manage everything. Like Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj, he used to do these huge parikramas, thousands of devotees, and then he's like managing so many things, and then they asked him, oh, Gurudev, how are you managing so many things, like thousands of people, all the prasad, housing, everything
teach us how to read the Sanskrit?
Mano madhye stito mantro, mantra madhye stitam mana, mano mantra samyuktanam, samayuktam, etadi japa lakshanam.
One more time.
Mano mantra stito.
Mantra stito.
Mano madhye stito mantra, mantra madhye stito mana, mano mantra samayuktam, etadi japa lakshanam. Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for coming, Pandit. There's also prasadam.
Yay!
We can sing the prayer.
What is this?
It was from class, today's class.
Oh yeah, you
Oh,
guys
this
can
was
learn.
today?
Yeah.
It's a great one. It's very simple.
It's
too.
good to the beginner.